if you're doing it correctly and you're in a significant level of discomfort, I don't think you cannot doubt that. There's doubt for everything. Like, there's doubt for the teachers know what they're talking about.
Right.
Is this really coming from Buddha? Did Buddha just talk about?
Right.
Am I doing it wrong? Or is it just something with my body that's wrong?
Is our universe real?
It's just ideas. They're just ideas. Now. You were tuned in to the Cosmidelic Download. You are all, everything is divine. There's no thing
With your
divine.
host,
Poetry legend, philosopher.
Mark Marcel.
All right. Oh, are you ready, sir? Oh, let's just go.
I don't like the big light. Let's just ease in and let's get going.
Oh, you have. Look at all this enlightenment. All right. Oh, I don't like the big, you just to get into it, you know.
Well, we got showered. I mean, yeah, let's fucking roll.
Right.
Baby. Let's roll.
All right. We are plugged in to the Cosmidelic Download. And I am with my guest today, my good friend and cosmonaut, white shaman, tiger, lion, rabbit. How do you do?
Good to see you, Black Shaman. Grammy nominated.
There we go. Get it right. There we go. White shaman, tiger, lion, rabbit.
Is my check still in the mail from the last?
Yes. No, it's not. I'm kind of late on a few things. As you know. But no, my good friend Darren Pitfield, man, it's good to see you, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. You have had quite a 10-day adventure that you just got back from. Seems pretty interesting. I'm glad to have you back. You know, I've actually missed you. And it's nice to know that while you were gone, that I was also thought about. You know, I appreciate that. You only thought about me one time?
Yeah. Well, maybe a couple. Yeah.
All that meditation?
Maybe a couple.
10 days of meditation, you thought about me one time? You know what? I don't know. I gotta rethink our friendship. It's all good. No, dude. So, where are you coming back from?
Coming back from a 10-day silent meditation retreat in 21 Palms in California.
California.
Yeah, I think.
And I come to find you've been prepping for this since October?
Yeah, I mean, I've been casually prepping for it, I guess, like doing 30, 40-minute sittings each morning.
Right.
Not necessarily a specific meditation technique, but just, prepping with posture and just being able to sit and for that long is not that easy.
So for people who don't know what Vipassana is.
I think it's actually pronounced Vipassana.
Vipassana. Ooh.
Vipassana.
All right. For people who don't know what Vipassana is, explain, please.
It's basically a meditation technique which is part of Dharma, which is essentially the root kind of unpurified, let me get this right. Vipassana is a meditation technique that is part of, I don't know how to say Dharma. What is it? It's not a religion. It's
Practice? Ritual? Technique?
It's definitely not a ritual.
Not a technique?
Like Vipassana is a meditation technique that is specific and unique to Dharma,
right.
Which is basically translate, as I understand it, to basically how the laws of nature work and how Buddha translated his teaching into what is now called Dharma.
So how Buddha translated his teachings into Dharma. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So explain what Dharma is.
I believe Dharma is everything is essentially subject to the laws of nature.
Okay. So it's basically Buddha's version of what he thinks in the laws of nature.
Is Buddha's interpretation, yeah.
Buddha's interpretation.
Yeah, and then the technique of Vipassana meditation is one that Buddha developed, which has been passed down like a direct lineage,
Right.
or at least the least polluted route,
Right.
in order to be conveyed to people today.
So this is thought to be Buddha's meditation practices.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. I did not know that it was directly linked to Buddha. No, I'm just going on my head. Do I really have the
And I think the key,
discipline
the
to
key
do it?
point, at least that they point out, is that it's not associated to any specific sect or dogma or like religion.
Right.
Basically, it's supposed to be the universal law of nature, which is above all of that.
Dharma. That's the universal law of nature.
Yeah.
Right. So for people who don't really know, because to dive into it, so it's basically 10 days of meditation for 10 hours a day with no talking,
No eye contact.
no eye contact,
No meals after midday.
no meals after midday. What time do you get up and start?
4 a.m.
Woo! Okay. What time do you go to sleep?
9:30.
Cool. And you were practicing every day, doing about 40 minutes of meditation since October.
Right to, yeah.
Do you feel like it prepared you?
Absolutely not.
All right. Why not?
I mean, I wasn't ready for the physical challenge of it. Was immense.
Right.
You know, not. I mean, the 10 hours a day wasn't like it was cumulative. It wasn't like, it was usually like an hour and a half or an hour at a time, and you had multiple sessions over the course of a day.
Right.
But having to sit in the traditional postures is, for somebody that isn't extremely well, like, trained in it,
Right.
is difficult. It's hard. It's harder than you think. I think than most people think, to sit in like a Buddha pose or with the knees playing down for an extended duration.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And not move and not change or wiggle or shift your position in order to relieve some level of discomfort.
Pain. Right. Just to fight through it, or just to accept through it. Not even fight, just to surrender to it. Surrender to the pain.
It's not surrendering to the pain. It's perceiving it and interpreting it differently. So it's like the concept of equanimity.
Equanimity.
Is I think it's actually it's a Buddhist concept, which is basically that you develop an ability to be very neutral or non-reactive towards some type of experience or feeling. So like
non-reactive, right?
So like it's a pleasant thing, like like a nice warm temperature room, or this room could be freezing, which would be like unpleasant.
Right.
Then my goal is to, at least in Dharma or through Vipassana, is to treat those as completely equal. Even though one's really unpleasant, one's pleasant.
Right.
I have to
accept them both the same.
Accept them the same, like acceptance, and be non-reactive.
Right.
To
it.
Because if you're in the cold situation, you would like, I need like a coat, or like, I want to get warm. I'm going to get out of this room.
Right. That's interesting, because I know someone who did Vipassana, and the teachings of it being non-reactive seems like weren't digested that well. They're reacting to things that make them uncomfortable, like a tire of clothing. You know what I'm saying? much. You're not gonna let me go down that rabbit hole, are you? Okay, all right, fair enough. I appreciate it. Boy, you came back enlightened, boy. You all this Zen. Look at you, like white shaman, tiger, lion, rabbit. I love you, dude. So, all right, dude, you were one of the impressions that I had of it, which you said is not that. Because one of the critiques that I had of it was only from people that I know who had done it. And one of the, how it was summed up was that it was boring. And you said, oh, it's not boring.
No.
So expand on that.
No, but I will say, like, for anybody who is thinking about doing a Vipassana course, this is a spoiler. This is kind of a spoiler alert.
Okay.
This may, like, influence your decision to do it or not. It's like,
So you're telling them to skip right now.
So I'm saying,
So people who's listening right now, if you want to do Vipassana, you don't want to get turned away, skip about a minute.
Right. Well, maybe more than that.
Oh,
there's a lot
right.
of it, you know,
Let's hear it.
go into it, like, and
Right.
my experience with it.
All right. So let me hear it.
But I mean, for me, it's a I don't want to say aggressive, but it's a very active form of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are going through a scanning process through the body, essentially identifying areas of comfort and areas of discomfort for the most part, any sensation, and trying to act in an equanimous way to all of those sensations, whether it's an itch, it's a burning sensation, it's a horrible, like, tight muscular pain. And you're scanning the body and identifying those different parts, and you're trying to treat them all equally and react to none of them. Therefore,
observe.
Yes. So the key really is to, we're skipping some bits here, but it's to, like, observe observe the sensations that are happening on your body and not react to them.
Right.
Or at least treat them as neutral, like both equal. Which is difficult for most people. So you come into a room and, I've got a horrible pain in my right leg, right, in my right thigh. And as I was thinking of it in the course, I was like, okay, I need to treat the pain that's in my right leg, the area that the pain is in my right thigh. I need to treat that exactly as the feeling in my left thigh with no pain at all. And so you try to reach this equanimous state where you're just very neutral towards both pain and non-pain, and specifically not react, because what your body wants to do and what your brain has been telling you to do, because it's been preconditioned over many, many years, is pain in the leg, move, alleviate the pain.
Right.
And that is, the objective is to not move, to not react.
Right. How difficult was that for you? I only said it.
I think it's difficult for everybody.
I think it's different for other people. Because, like, I knew, because, when you go away, people ask, like, I wonder how long he's going to make it. One of a mutual person we know said that they thought that he was like, how long you think he's going to be gone? You think he's going to come back soon? I was like, oh, no, no, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to last the whole thing.
And I consider myself as somebody with pretty, like,
tolerant of pain?
Not tolerance of pain, but, like, determined person. Like, I'll work my way through things.
Yeah. I think that about you too. That's how I knew that you was going to make it to the end.
I didn't mean it wasn't very, very hard.
I don't think it was easy from what you've been telling me lately. Because, at first I was like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. But now with you telling me some of the poses and how long it takes, like, I don't know if my body, like, I ain't 25 no more. I got aches and pains.
And what was remarkable about it was there was people, probably 65, 70 years old.
Wow. Then we're doing
with people as young as probably.
And did they last through it?
20s. Yeah, they did. Like, and some of them were second, third time.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And they've worked through all these techniques and processes, so they're still probably experiencing at the core level. It's still the same level of pain. It's still pain, the same pain.
Mind over matter.
The interpretation of the pain that they've worked through techniques to deal with.
Yeah.
But going back to your original question, like, is it boring? I didn't find it boring at all. I found it a challenge every minute.
Wow.
You know, and I really tried to observe the rules as such, like, you know, keep as still as you possibly can in your pose. Try not to change your pose. And so you're getting to the point where you are, and this is like day 2 or 3 for me. It's like I'm creating my own self-inflicted pain.
Right.
That is basically what you're doing.
Yeah,
because you're not alleviating the pain. It's slowly, and typically when you sit for, you know, at least 30, 40 minutes, by the time you hit 40, 45, it gets, you know, the muscular like strains and aches that you're in your knees when you got the cross-legged pose, when your lower back, when you're in the Buddha pose, you know, they start to really kick in. And you want to just get out of that. You want to stand up, you want to move, you want to do everything possible to get away from that situation. And most people's minds, I think, start focusing on the pain.
Right.
And your goal is to not do that.
Right.
Because the more you focus on it, you feel like the worse it gets. And then it gets completely in your head, and that's all you can think about. And then you want to move.
Yeah.
So at the core, you are training your brain, rewiring at a very deep subconscious level, your brain, in order to deal with, like, tolerating that pain in a different way than you would normally.
Right.
So I'm not going to react the same as what I used to do.
So what bothers you most? The rumination of past things that you, because as we were talking, you know, earlier, you said, you know, I guess it brings up things that you have buried, or I guess you didn't know were buried.
Yeah, and I think, and that's a byproduct that comes later down the line.
You mean after a few days?
Yeah, I mean, probably after, for me, like, maybe like 6 days.
Oh, really? And then you start ruminating?
Because and I can see why some people would maybe say it was boring, like, early on. Like, the first 2 or 3 days, they work up the technique from working with the basic respiration kind of observations.
So they teach you new things every day.
Yeah, but they're very slow. It's a slow build up.
Mm-hmm.
And the process itself is not really that complicated. Like the Vipassana technique, at least to the point where we got to after the 10-day course. I don't know if there is a lot more to it or not. I guess you find that out probably at more of the advanced or longer courses. But I think, as I was taught it by our assistant teacher, that essentially I would have everything in that technique to go from 0 to full liberation or enlightenment or whatever you want to call it,
right,
at the end of the road.
Right.
If the technique is applied correctly and consistently and in a good quality over a long period of time.
Right.
But going back to the point, so boring, maybe I could see that the first few days feel not as maybe challenging or like advanced as you might want. It's a lot of basic exercise repeated time and time again,
right,
in order to develop the feelings of sensitivity so at a later point when you're doing the body scans that you're a little more, your brain's a little bit more sharper on detecting like more subtle sensations on the body.
Right.
Because a sensation, as they define it, could be anything from like a very like pulsating feeling or like a heat feeling in the skin. It could be like a minor itch. You know, it could be a big itch. It could be a really severe pain. The whole range of sensations. You know, like any type of sensation.
Right.
So you're training your body very early on in order to.
So even an itch, you get an itch, you can't even scratch it. Wow, yeah.
That's a tough one for
that is, yeah, that's tough, yeah. Because I know that from when I was doing my out of body experience stuff, the days like doing it, like there was no pain,
yeah,
but there was the have to scratch moments.
Yeah, for sure.
That shit would just yeah. I had to. That was hard. I've worked out of that. I mean, I've been able to bypass that, but it took a while.
And the thing with these, like, you're in there for an hour, times, and like within 1 minute, like you feel like some little bit of
after 1 minute.
Oh shit! This is gonna be a long ride now.
You just want to do this. That's all
you want to do
wanna
it so bad, or just new, and that goes against the principle.
Yeah, I know. Wow,
react.
that's funny.
Treat.
Well, sometimes would you feel it the whole hour, that itch, or would it eventually go away?
Well, that leads into essentially what part of the teaching is.
All right.
So, which is, okay, yeah, I can now through equanimity, I can not react to it, and I can treat it equally as any other sensation on the body, by any other area of the body that I'm scanning.
Right.
But the second part of that, I think they call it anicca, if I'm saying that right, is that everything in reality is arising and passing away.
Right.
So, and nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent.
Right.
So even that itch at some point will go away. It might be there for 6 seconds. It might be there for a minute. It might be there for 2 minutes. But at some point, the knowing that it will not last forever is another thing that you can preach to yourself. So in the early stages, you're like, okay, equanimity, I've got to treat it like it's, like not as bad as it is. Like at least it's kind of equal maybe to the area where I'm not getting pain or not having an itch.
Right.
But at the same time, you're also like, for me at least, I was, the internal dialogue is saying, it's not going to last forever.
Right.
And you have to convince yourself of that, because at that point in time, your brain is everything is telling you just stop it.
Right.
The subconscious sankharas, they call them, are actions or reactions to pain or suffering or discomfort. And you're training your body at a very deep level to not react.
You know what I noticed was interesting and what I've always thought of? In moments like when I was going through my process of having OBEs and all of a sudden get this itch that I have to itch, I'm like, man, if I wasn't trying this right now, I wonder if I would even have to itch that part of the body, 1. And 2, even if I did, would I even notice it to feel like, oh, I gotta itch this? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's really, it's so to the point that I wonder if the itch comes about because of me doing the practice, or if it was always there, I just don't notice it because my mind is focused elsewhere.
Yeah, and I think that's where the point that you start developing, you're focusing your awareness without giving away going through the whole technique. You are focusing your awareness on different parts of the body in kind of like a sequential way.
Right.
And that's also a little subjective, which is kind of interesting. So they're teaching you something that's kind of subjective because you're not going through and drawing certain parts on the body and saying you're going to scan this part and then move to this part and then move to this part. That's a little down like to your own interpretation.
Right.
What were we talking about before that?
I smoke marijuana, dude. I can't remember shit a minute ago.
My brain's still a little foggy from last week. That's another thing. Like it affects your body in different ways,
right,
during the week. And for me, my memory got affected from doing so.
That's interesting. You would think that your memory would get stronger.
Well, I think after the fact, your brain starts getting a little bit more clarity. But for me, at least, even the first day after we were allowed to talk again to the fellow meditators, there was a lot of not brain fog, but just I couldn't remember the name of a hike I was on the other week, or
right.
I don't remember the name of this place in LA or whatever. And that's not normal for me.
Right.
I think it slowly started to come back, but
was it scary? Did you think that you was...
No, not scared of that.
No.
It was more, that's an interesting effect. Another thing that, and again, during the week, as things that potentially happen to you, like physical things and also mental things and emotional things that come in. And one thing was, I can't check this with anybody really, other than the assistant teacher, that you have a little break during some days to ask maybe a question or two. Other than that, it's complete silence. You don't talk to any of the meditators, any of the managers, any of the people helping with the food, anything like that. You
that fuzziness.
Yeah.
Really?
Without fuzzy.
Man.
Oh no, I was saying that I got a ringing sensation in my ears. So I go to bed at night, and I was like, I got like pretty significant ringing in my ears. Like, that's weird. I'm not like at a heavy metal concert or like
No, dude,
loud.
you know what happened? Go ahead. Yeah.
It's like at a vibrational level,
Yeah.
your body is doing something else now, and it's just not used to that level of silence. And that silence can be deafening. When you're in a hall with 70 people, it's a different type of silence.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
I always like remember like the comparison of like a digital silence and a real silence.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a room that's silent with 70 people sitting there, and you could hear like a mouse drop a pin.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different type of silence. It's also different. It feels like a very different type of energy.
Let me ask you something. During your meditation, during your Vipassana, did you realize that there is no such thing as silence?
No.
No? Because really, that ringing you hear in your ears, like, it's always there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's just masked with all these other sounds so you don't hear it. But if you get really quiet, oh, that shit is there.
Yeah.
It is there, to the point that I realized, like, dude, there's no such thing as silence. Because that ring, you can't get it out. That shit is always there. The quieter you are, the more silent you think you're getting. You think you're going to get to zero. As soon as you get close to zero, you realize that, no, there's a sound that you can never shut off. And that shit is ringing in your ears.
There was a bunch of us experiencing that, and I just didn't know it because I wasn't able to ask.
Yeah, I put that in my book. Well, it doesn't even matter, yeah. But go ahead.
You know, in addition to, after maybe day 3 or 4 or wherever, you're thinking, I'm in severe pain here.
Yeah.
From trying to do this, like sitting like this for a long period of time, 10 hours a day. I thought it was 8 going into it. And I have a picture of the schedule, like with the full 10, I think. And I wasn't prepared for my body to be in that much pain.
Right. Wow.
From sitting in those positions. And I'd practiced for like a couple of months.
Yeah. Did you practice the positions that you practice there?
Shorter durations. Yeah, some of them.
Really? How many different positions did they have?
I mean,
Vipassana?
You're free to.
Say that right? Vipassana? Vipassana.
But you're kind of free to do whatever position you want. But it's strongly suggested, like not in a verbal way, that in order to have like the optimal experience, you should be in some type of like Buddha pose or with like a straight, erect spine.
Right.
And I think that's in order to facilitate certain types of energy flows that are going through the body.
Right.
And I feel that as well, because I felt like sometimes it would be less painful for me to like hunch over, but at the same time I wasn't feeling the same type of like energy flows as when you had the straight back.
So you could feel almost like the thing, no pain, no gain. So the more pain you went through trying to make sure your posture was correct, the more you got out of it.
Right. So yeah, one of the key concepts, that you'll come to understand from doing a type of course like this is that, and the assistant teacher verbalized it to me after I was, in so much pain for like 2 or 3 days, and not knowing that not everybody else, but a lot of other people were in similar levels of pain, discomfort, was the, pain is part of the teaching process.
Right. And that's the point, to feel the pain.
The point is, to
ignore
create the pain.
Create the pain to then observe it.
To observe it and process it in a different way than you did prior.
Right.
That's one of the key points. Because, and here the thing that is because you can see other people and how they're behaving, you just can't talk to them like the meditators. So the meditators after 2 or 3 days, I started to see some of them would, if they requested it from the teachers or the managers, you could get a little like chair support,
right,
that helps you and like props up your back.
right.
So in theory, you think it's like one less thing to worry about, like a little bit of back pain. Now I get some support instead of having to, have that erect spine for a whole hour. So I thought, some people are kind of experience some level of discomfort, but I'm really in a lot of pain here.
Right.
And so that's, I had an opportunity to talk to one of the teachers, and that's, what I expressed to them. I was in a decent amount of pain and hinting at maybe I could get some support as well, much to the,
Right.
shame of my ego, but like
Right.
he was, watching other people, the pain was bad enough that I requested a way out or to alleviate the pain. And that request was met with a, not a shaming, but like a,
Because they're not supposed to show any emotion.
yeah, these are the teachers.
Right.
The teachers are there essentially only really to make sure you're doing the technique right.
Right.
And they'll go a little bit out of that range, but really it's just to make sure that the original technique, which is, in theory translated all the way from Buddha down to the teacher who is on a visual display there because he passed away now,
Right.
which is Goenka. And they're essentially just there to be a physical version of him. They're just helping, making sure you're doing the technique right and trusting the technique, and everything else will flow. So the response you really get from asking for help is, basically, unless you have a medical condition or some type of injury that necessitates you needing a chair, do you need a chair?
Right.
And so he puts it back on you. And then for me, I was like, well, I had a chair out the back, like somebody had left a chair, so I started to use it for a day.
Right.
And quickly found out that pretty much, for me at least, the pain just transferred from one area to another area from a different pose in the chair.
Wow. Really, from sitting in the chair, the pain went into a different area in your body.
For me, it wasn't like a perfect fix.
Right. Wow.
But it was easier. So,
Right.
So what I'm saying is, like,
This shit has me kind of interested.
passionate. It's like,
I'm like, you know what?
so what I'm saying, like, with Vipassana now, like, I'm watching other people trying, like, taking like more easier options than what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But then by the next day, or a day or two after, you start translating. Well, after again talking with the teacher, is that the pain is the point. Like, you have to create a significant level of discomfort, and I'm going to say pain, in order to get the message that you need to deal with. You have to deal with
Pain.
a type of pain that's bad enough in
Life
order
is
to
suffering.
in order to progress.
Yeah.
And even by the end of the course, the pain is still going to be there.
Mm.
You're just processing it differently.
You ascend the pain.
To a point where the teacher's like, well, if you aren't getting the pain or some type of significant discomfort, whether it's a really like crazy itch or something else, and you're not working through that, you're not growing. You're not progressing necessarily.
Man, it's so wild just hearing this. And I'm just like, obviously I take it personal. I'm like, it's wild how so many people don't get the message, but get the message. Anyway.
Well, and I think, what is the ultimate message? And people maybe get there in different directions, but
to accept everything is your own perspective of something, and like the pain only is the pain if you make it that.
Yeah, and as I came to understand it, your job is not to get rid of the pain.
Right.
So the pain.
Although, go ahead.
No, the job is not to get rid of the pain. Is physically, there's still the same chemical, biological, whatever reactions going on in the body.
Right.
It's my perception of the pain that's changing, or my interpretation of the way I'm handling it. That is what's changing. The pain doesn't change. It's still the same pain. And the pain will arise
But your perception of it is right. But I'm saying it's still whatever it is, and it's up for interpretation. It is never like, just because you think something, just because you're like, yeah, this is pain, it doesn't mean it's really pain. It's what you're defining it to be. Although, I mean, like I was saying earlier, there are some things that how do you get over? Like, I mean, if I just took a gun and just shot you in your chest, I mean, I don't know what type of meditation you're going to be on to be trying to like.
No, I mean, that's a, yeah, I think
You
it's
know?
a different playing field though.
Right.
Like,
Where's the cutoff?
I think we need to get that later.
We can get that later. Right.
That's too big. That's too big a shift from what we're talking about, right?
Well, I'm just playing devil's advocate,
Because right now we're talking about discomfort in the body.
Right.
I'm teaching or training my body at a subconscious level how it's going to react to those sensations. Because the sensations are always going to be there. So
Right.
basically, that first half, I would say, is, a progressive method of understanding of feeling certain sensations, from respiration to other types of sensations in a small area, and expanding it to your whole body, and then systematically scanning your whole body and working through the sensations. And if you find a sensation that's strong enough, they call it more like a more solid sensation or gross sensation. In particular, that's like causing significant levels of discomfort, then you have the option at some point along the way to like sit with that. So to sit with that area or section of discomfort, and basically for me it was like thinking through that this is equanimity, I'm not going to react to this even though I want to react, and just processing that in your head. And also at the same time coupling on the idea of anicca, or everything's impermanent, it's going to go away.
That's Nietzsche? Nietzsche said?
No, anicca is like is the Sanskrit.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
And process it through that. So you're working at it with like the two barrels for me, or double barrel kind of shotgun as I thought about it was, okay, I'm working through equanimity, and at the same time I'm also thinking about it's going away. It's all rising and passing away at some point. Nothing is permanent.
Right.
And those armed with those two like thoughts or concepts targeted at the area, sometimes it would like dissipate a little bit. And I don't know if that's necessarily because I'm thinking about it, or it's because it's just naturally arising and falling with time.
Right.
Like the muscular strain may or may not go away in that 1 hour when I'm sitting there.
Right.
But the ultimate point is it will go away at some point.
Right.
Even if I ended up
There's nothing that's
it would go away.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, like the further you go is when you totally surrender the DMT. Is that basically what it is? It's like you just you said even if you pass away, it'll go. But basically the point is to be committed till death. Is that kind of what it is? But like no matter what, and just accept all the way through.
There was points when I went on a tangent with the level of pain. And again, when I talked about this with the teachers at a later point, they were like, just stick to the plan, basically, stick to the teaching.
Yeah.
But there was a points where the pain was so severe for me.
Right.
I got to the point where it turned into more of a, like what we were talking about earlier, which was, like that complete surrender. Okay, the pain is so bad right now. I've resisted it. And I've tried to say it's equanimous, and I know it's maybe going to go away, maybe not going to go away. It feels so bad right now. I'm just going to just relax and just surrender to the pain. And that's a different feeling. And that's not really as I understand it, and as I talked about it later with people, not what you're supposed to do. But it did generate.
What do you mean you're not supposed to do? You're not supposed to surrender to it?
Not surrender in the terms of just like let everything completely go. So because when you do that, well, at least for me, when you do that, it was a very different experience. It was a very just like everything becomes very like.
It seems like that would be the point.
No, and
to let things go, because everything else is what you make something define, and nothing is what you define something to be, and that's not even true.
Yeah, I don't, because for me, it's almost like it's like a total collapse, a total surrender of like, okay, just whatever, like this is it. Like, just I know I'm not gonna die, but I'm just.
So wait, but you said you said you're not supposed to total surrender. Okay,
you're supposed to you change your interpretation of it.
Okay, so
one way of
change the interpretation of basically saying, "Oh, okay,
react.
that doesn't feel as bad as I thought," or
yeah, and not react to it.
Right,
surrendering to
his reaction
is
to
also
it.
a reaction. So that's where he got me on it.
Right.
So
yeah.
So you aim, and as I was processing it in the early
but
part,
isn't also go ahead.
It's get into that neutral state where your mind is so stable and non-reactive and neutral that I can put a pain on this leg and no pain on this leg, and I'm treating them as the same,
as equal. Yeah.
So it's almost like, for me, I was thinking, am I like dulling my senses to get to that point?
Right. But it seems like even not reacting to it is a reaction to it in a way. Like, what I mean is, like, if you process it in your head, like,
no, I don't
think it is differently.
I see it like, if I'm not reacting,
I guess reacting is a physical thing, right?
Yeah.
But if surrendering, why is that thought of physically then?
It's still a reaction to it. It's like, it's so bad, I'm going to surrender.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's bad,
just deal with
nothing.
It. Right.
Nothing. That's different.
Yeah.
So what you're doing as you're going through these exercises, through these hour and a half long sessions, as long as you're sitting, is the more and more you're doing it at the subconscious level, the sensations that your body is having, and you're not reacting to it, is changing the way that you're treating your response to pain or itching or all these things.
Right.
To the point where if they happen in the future, like, it can be like, okay, there's pain.
Right.
I'm not going to react to it. How do I want to respond, if I do want to respond or not? But the reaction is not happening from a subconscious level. It's happening from here instead.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not, I'm not reacting.
So, right. So would you, dude, the dude, that Bohemian dude, the dude you sent me the video, dude's wearing the kafaya. He did like 10 of them. Leo.
Oh, Leo, yeah.
You said he did like 10 of them.
Yeah.
You think you could see yourself doing 10 of these?
I mean, I've seen the early benefits of it and the insights I've had, which, that's a whole nother kind of conversation, honestly. But like, the early insights for me have been pretty significant,
right?
But I'm not gonna downplay how hard it was to get to the end of that. Like, if you're doing the techniques properly and really doing the course 100%, full on, and observing all the rules and everything, it's not easy,
Yeah.
And in addition to other things like you're cleaning bathrooms at night, and like, I did, like, some people say you could do the cold showers. I did cold showers, first thing in the morning. It's dark, it's cold. I think you can, you can make it easier on yourself, but halfway through the course, like, it dawns, at least on me, it's like, that's not the point.
Right.
The point is,
and they don't tell you that.
I was kind of told that, but it wasn't until like halfway through, day 5, 6 or something.
Do you think the point is for them not to tell you that? It's for you to figure it out?
Absolutely, which is why.
So this is why this is a spoiler alert, right?
Would I voluntarily
right.
sign up for 10 days to self-inflict pain on me to a level where I'm like feeling like complete surrender,
right?
And in like pretty significant discomfort for long periods of time, and doing it multiple sittings a day, like 5 or 6 potentially.
Right. Wow.
So that's really what you're actually signing for, and that's why I'm a little reluctant to like give away the full process, because I don't want, it's to discourage people from potentially the positive benefits for it.
Right.
But I think the ultimate thing is, it's just when I talk to most people about it, I'm going to say, this is not easy.
Right.
Be at least prepared to some extent that you're going to be in a little bit, you'll be in some discomfort from being in yoga poses meditation poses for long periods.
What was the longest you went without taking a break?
I did.
Did you time it?
Actually, that was pretty. You just reminded me of something. No, there was sometimes during the sessions they were like 2 hours blocks, I think, maybe an hour and a half, and because of there was some older students and some newer students in there, and certain times they would let some of the students, either the new ones or the older ones, you could go back to your room and choose to meditate in your room because it's a little bit quieter there and a little bit more.
Really?
There's not people coughing in the background and like.
So some people could have went to their rooms and went to sleep.
Yeah.
You about to tell her yourself?
No,
what is that?
I'll say I didn't do that, and I made a decision with myself at the beginning because I'd heard stories of that I wasn't going to do that, and I was going to, again, like I said, I did the full.
Yeah,
I can confidently say I did it as close as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And took no real cheats.
Yeah, that's one thing I know about you. I knew whatever the assignment was, I knew you was gonna do that. Like whatever is being asked or whatever the assignment is, I knew you was gonna complete it.
And half the way through, I'm like, I'm not going through this for nothing. Like I want to get something out of this. Like I put myself through enough pain at this point.
Yeah.
Like, why would I?
Right.
Oh yeah. So going back to what we were talking about. The longest sit-in was, so half the way through one of the later sit-ins, the new students had the option to leave, and I was a new student. And somehow I didn't hear the message because it's like translated over like a audio communication.
Right.
And so I kind of missed it.
Right.
And then I couldn't remember if it was the new students or the old students that were going to leave that day. And I was kind of so focused in the pain and just getting through it.
Wow.
That I sat the whole time and I was in agony.
Right.
But I was so focused on getting through it. And then eventually at the end, the audio cue kind of goes to let you know that you're at the end of the session, and you open your eyes. And I remember opening my eyes and then go, like, just been in so much pain, and then looking around and realizing
everybody was there.
All the new students are gone.
Right.
And the older students that typically kind of sit at the front or the side were in front of me. I was like, whoa, I just did the whole hour and a half.
Wow.
And I was like,
wow.
So there was like this.
So it's almost like did time cease to exist?
Because I was just so focused on the dealing with the managing.
But you're not supposed to be focused on the pain.
No, you can be focused on
it. You can be.
Your awareness is scanning your body in order to identify the pain. So you're observing the pain.
Right. You're just observing it. Right.
Observing it.
There it is. Yeah. It feels painful. Don't deal with it. Just, oh well.
Yeah. Oh well.
Hurts. Oh well.
Move on.
Move on. Next section of the body.
Yeah.
Because I heard like you get really into it to where like, and I can see that because I right now if I think of a part of my body, I can feel that part of my body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's interesting. So that's a good point. So for me, I had they call them blank spots. So there's certain parts of the body as you're scanning it, like I don't feel it. Like sit there for a minute and try and feel a sensation.
Yeah.
And even and I don't know really, that's something I need to like work on in the future, but certain parts of my body were definitely not. I wasn't feeling that much sensation, and you work at some of them, and slowly they come.
So they come, yeah. I know.
But that's part of focusing your awareness.
Yeah.
And the eventual goal is that you should be able to feel sensations in your entire body.
Yeah. As you're saying, that's something I did just years ago or whatever. But as you were talking, I was just doing it now. I was like, can I feel my pinky right now? Or I was like, yeah, okay. Can I feel my elbow? Yeah. Can I feel the fat on my gut right there? Like, yeah, I can feel that. Like, can I feel my kneecap? Yeah. Like I can.
For me at least, and I think some other people as well, it was like the kind of chest, stomach area was less sensitive than arms and forearms. And, like face and head. Typically, people are very like they can detect sensations really easily.
But check it, this is the thing. As I was doing that, I realized that, that body is always feeling something. So it goes back to my other point where I was like, do you think when I was like, if you move, I was like, if you got to rub the nose, or what, do you really have to rub the nose, or is it just because I got into this meditative state, now all of a sudden it comes? Like, I think these little itches, these little things are going on in the body at all times.
Yeah.
You're just not thinking about it.
You're just not sensitive to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think
mind over matter.
I think as you progress further in Vipassana practice, that is part of the goal, is that you should feel sensations on your body the entire time.
Yeah.
Whether it's the
entire time.
Whether it's just like an energetic type thing, or it's more gross feelings like itches, or muscular type pains, or bruising, or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So you were there for 10 days. At the 10 day, were you ready to go, or do you think you could have did an extra day? Is there an option to do an extra day?
I think I could have done extra. Yeah.
You could have.
There's no option.
There's no option. It's like you gotta leave. It's like this is it.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Even
if you wanted to, if you was like, no, I want to do one more, they would be like, no, you gotta.
They have other people rolling in, so and I don't think they would. It's interesting because in talking with the other students, it's the same. You typically have very high days where you like your ego kind of, I got through this, like I made it, like
I did it,
I did it, and then the
first day of meditating,
and the next day, boom, you're back down at the bottom, like feeling the worst, like I'm the worst in the class, like feeling every pain, I can't get through this.
Yeah.
And at least for me, every different sitting, had some type of new challenge, and it wasn't necessarily just from the techniques progressively slowly getting harder. It was from different types of pains in your body. How did you sleep that night? Were you on like, is your face super itchy? Did you like get some minor sunburn, before you went in there? Or like, there's all these different. Every day is a challenge, and that's why for me it was never boring, because it was just like, oh, I got a new situation I got to deal with at a sensory level here.
Right.
And whether, it was the bad itch on the nose early on in the session, or like, and sometimes you'd be like, going through and you'd be like, 10 minutes in, you're like, not feeling anything, crushing it, and then by 30 minutes, your whole world could be just turned upside down. That your back's hurting, both your knees are hurting at the same time. It feels like, somebody's sticking a dagger in both your legs and just holding it there.
Right.
And you've got to like now figure out how to deal with that. So what I'm saying is, like, from a mental perspective, you're so up and down. But there's for me, there was never, even maybe at the end it started lessening in intensity a little bit, but there was never, like, certainly in the early sittings, not a point where I'm like cruising the whole time.
Right.
Ever.
A lot of doubt creeps in.
People want to go home. People want to leave.
Was there ever a time that you wanted to quit and go home? Were you like, I don't know about this? Was there ever a moment?
I don't think you can't doubt early on. If you're doing it correctly and you're in a significant level of discomfort, I don't think you cannot doubt. That there's doubt for everything. Like, there's doubt for, the teachers know what they're talking about.
Right.
Is this really coming from Buddha?
Right,
Did
right.
Buddha know what he's talking about?
Right.
I'm like, am I doing it wrong? Or is it just something with my body that's wrong?
Is this really coming from Buddha? That's funny.
So, there's doubt at all different levels where
Right.
you could be getting in, but what is it? It's your mind
Right.
trying to give you a way out. It's again part of the teaching.
Mm.
You have to have some level of like mental control and discipline to get through this. It's one of the main things, if you have a weak mind, you're not going to make it.
Right.
And some people did drop out,
Tell me about the person you was telling me about dropped out, where you said he had, you was wondering what type of experience he had.
I had one guy, we were, because the first day you can talk to the students or meditators. and, made friends with a couple of them, briefly when we got there on the first day. And one of them, just a guy pretty similar to me, seemed like, probably I think he told me he'd done some level of meditation and was, not hugely prepped, but as probably as well as I was. And, as you get deeper into the course, he was positioned next to me and was, my impression was he was killing it. Like he was just in the full Buddha pose.
Right.
Just absolutely doing great.
Right.
Seemed to be sitting every time. Whereas I was changing my posture between sittings.
He wasn't
really doing that. Yeah. So my interpretation was he's doing really well.
Yeah, he's doing great.
And, by I think it was like, I'm going to guess at like day 8, maybe, day 8.5, something. We were in one of the sit-ins and he was in his full Buddha pose and he kind of keeled over, whether he passed out or something. And he fell away from me, like I was on the right-hand side. So he fell into somebody else, and I heard somebody else say, "Hey man, are you okay?" And I think they kind of half caught him, or maybe I don't know if he banged his head or whatever. And they kind of brought him back up, and maybe he passed out for a second, or what? I wasn't really sure, but I was still eyes closed and focused, and I was.
So I ain't let you fuck up my meditation.
I mean, but I was confident in knowing that I know that somebody else would say,
"Well, did a man just die in here? Oh, well, I am not feeling the pain. I am not focusing on that."
Don't react. Because you're literally being told not to react.
Right.
So yeah, I was like, maybe I should break the
Someone just died.
party silence here.
Oh well, we would deal with this in an hour. Go ahead.
So yeah, that was it. They kind of came round, put him up, and he kind of, I was like sneakily taking a look just to make sure he was all right after that. And he was kind of swaying a little bit, but he was kind of hanging in there.
So you can open your eyes in meditation?
No,
you're not supposed to.
Just because of that situation.
You did, right.
For his own welfare and even mine, because head could come into me. I wanted to be aware at least of what was going on. It was an incident, and I just didn't know that much about what happened. I thought like maybe he just passed out or whatever. And then, the next day, he went away at night, and he was actually in the living dorms, just kind of diagonally opposite from me. And I don't know, because I did meditate in the evening in my room that night, and somebody in the dorms, and it was there's one of 4 guys, and one of them was me.
Right.
Somebody was sobbing and really having like a tough time, like mentally. I didn't know who it was.
You was thinking it was him, or you don't know?
I didn't know if it was him. I didn't know.
Right. Wow, so you heard someone crying, having a tough time.
Total. And again, I'm not able to talk to him. I'm not able to react. I'm not able to go ask him if he's okay, because I'm breaking the code of conduct.
Right. Wow.
So I'm concerned about him, but I don't know, again, if this is him or it's just some other guy. I didn't know.
Wow.
And then the next day, got up, started doing the sessions back in the meditation hall, and he was in there again. And at some point, again, he's next to me. He just laid back because there was a space behind it because one of the other guys had left. And he just laid back during the middle of the session. And you're not supposed to lay down, I guess. So when the manager came over and talked to him, or whispered to him, and then they kind of pushed him back up. And then a couple more minutes went by, and again, everybody else is sitting in their poses, eyes closed. And then he laid down again. And they came back and tried to, hey, I'm assuming they were asking, can you sit back up? And then I think he was like, no. And then they took him out the session. Again, we all just continue.
Why couldn't he just still stay there doing what he was doing?
Again, this is part of the mystery. I don't really know.
Go ahead.
So they took him away, and that was the last day I saw him.
Wow. Right.
Because I can't talk to him.
Right.
I can't ask other people
Right.
about what's going on with him.
Right.
So, yeah, I went, I can't remember, later that night or late in the morning, back to the dorms. And then I walked past his room, and his room door was open, cleaned out, everything had gone. All his stuff was gone. So he just left.
Was that the same room that you heard the crying?
I don't know.
You don't know where the crying was coming from.
But again, later after the fact, after like a process of deduction, we figured out, because I asked the other guys, you know, after the fact, like, you know, was it you guys crying? He'd like, no, it wasn't me. And
Right.
he's like, I thought it was you. No, no, it was
Process them and probably the dude that left, right?
Yeah. So then the question was, what happened?
Right.
So the only thing I know is, on the way out of the complex, he turned to the manager, the guy who kind of helps organize and make sure people are in the right place at the right time, and just said, I'm so happy, and just left.
Wow. How you know he said that? That's what the manager told
The
you?
manager told me after the
Right.
10 days.
Did you have any doubt in your mind that the manager was being honest? Because you say doubt creeps in your mind. Were you like,
No, and it's also part of the thing. Like, you know, like he's a pre-advanced practitioner, and there's supposed to be the concept of noble truth is like nobody lies, and that's also part of the reason why you don't get to
don't
court,
talk, yeah.
is because it literally, now you have no opportunity
Right.
to lie about anything,
Right.
even if it's a subtle or small lie.
How did you find that out by the manager? He
At
offered it, or you asked him?
at the very end. So I had to wait till the whole thing was over
Right. To find out.
to say, hey, what's going on? Like, and
So you asked him about him?
yeah,
He said, right.
that's all he said.
All he said was that when he left, he just said,
So he didn't want to give up any real more information.
Yeah, just
I think it's
privacy or something?
I think kind of, yeah. But I was like, I'm just concerned about him at least.
Right.
Like, we were friends at the beginning. Like, what happened?
Right. You was about to go to Burning Man together.
Taking some dodgy people at Burning Man.
You took me to Burning Man.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm a dodgy person?
You forgot your shade.
Okay.
Second thing on the spreadsheet, bro. And you got to suffer for that. Yeah, you learned some suffering.
I had my Vipassana. It's great that you.
I don't know if I'd sleep in that tent. I'd rather go to Vipassana.
Yeah, because that's y'all. The hell is hot, but this one place hotter, and that's Burning Man without a shade.
Oh, not a pretty sight.
Morning.
Leg hanging out the tent, can of beans.
Oh,
Anyway,
man.
back to story. So, so yeah, then the stories, like, people are asking me what happened to him, because I had I was living close to him in the dorms, and at the beginning we had like a, you know, casual, like, friend association, and I didn't know what to tell him. And then the first thing I thought, because he'd been crushing it so much with the poses,
Right.
when he went down, I was like, did he just have like some type of full send spiritual liberation, enlightenment, which is the ultimate goal of Vipassana in the end?
You thought he ascended?
I like, did he just clock out after 7-8
You
days?
thought he turned into a light energy being and just vanished into the ether? It was like, oh, namaste. motherfucker.
So there's different pieces of evidence. The fact he passed out,
Right.
okay, that could mean he was either in so much pain he passed out, or he had some type of physical blood pressure thing or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he have some type of emotional breakdown, or because Vipassana pulls up old memories that you have to process, and
Right.
really hard, like,
Wow.
anything that's very, like, a deep subconscious level, that you will see people crying during the week, like,
Wow. Yeah.
full grown men outside crying.
It's not because of the pain; it's because the emotional, not the memories that they're bringing.
It's bringing up,
Wow.
like, hard memories, like,
Wow.
So then I was like, well, maybe he just,
Man, my rumination is on a whole nother level. You think I could deal with that shit?
probably not. No.
Yeah, but dude, woo, because my shit is vicious, boy.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So
I think up some shit that I forgot when I was fucking. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, so I have this information now. So he's either like, you've gone full send, and that's amazing, and I kind of felt a little bit jealous. I was like, Yeah, I was like, man, if you just had the full thing after 7.5 days, what the hell am I doing, Mark? And he clocked out after 8 days. Like, it's a 10-day course.
Right.
I mean, that's a great reference for the course. If he clocked out some full liberation.
Yeah, but you don't know if he clocked out on full liberation.
I don't. So that's one explanation.
Right.
Next explanation is he had was processing some really deep-rooted emotions, like a lot of people do there, and that was the reason why he was crying. And he just couldn't take it, wanted to be out of there, was done with it, and just left. And when he was leaving, the interpretation of him leaving, saying, "I'm so happy, I'm so happy just to get out of here."
Right.
So
It could be that too.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. You don't know how to interpret that.
Exactly. Which
Wow.
is actually
it goes to show you nothing is what it is.
Exactly.
Oh,
And so it's
the definition you give it. Oh,
yeah, so it's super meta. And they
love this.
And I gave you the story earlier as well of like they gave the story.
I love my cafes.
They gave the story in the course of like an Indian mother gave a jar, empty jar, to her kid to go to the local grocery store to get oil, cooking oil, and bring it back. So she gives the kid the jar. He runs off to the grocery store. They give him they fill the jar full of oil. He pays the 10 rupees or whatever, and he's on his way home to give to his mom. And he's running, like jogging down the street, and he falls over and trips. The jar falls, but he manages to rescue half of the jar. But he's lost half of the jar, and he starts crying. He's upset. He goes, he's like, I don't have enough money to go refill it again. So he ends up going home and giving his mom half the jar, and he's all upset. And she's like, "Don't worry about it. It's not a problem." But he's so upset. I'm just an idiot, like I just wasted the money. We don't have the money to go back, get the rest of it. So the next day, the mom gives her other son an empty jar and sends him to the store to go get cooking oil. He goes to the store, pays his 10 rupees, they fill up the empty glass with the oil, the cooking oil. He's on his way home, and he also trips over. He falls, and the jar tips, and he manages to stir it up and save half the jar. And he's like, "Wow, that's incredible! I fell over, I managed to save half the jar. That's a miracle. It must be my lucky day." So he goes home and gives his mom the half empty, half full jar.
Right.
And he's completely ecstatic about it because he pulled off this incredible feat.
Right.
He thinks.
Right.
Again, jar half full, jar half empty.
Whatever you
One
want to say.
perception is that,
Right.
I'm terrible, I messed up,
Right.
I screwed up. And one perception is, I pulled off some kind of amazing feat because I
Right.
managed to save
I managed to save half a jar.
exactly the same situation.
Same situation.
Completely different perception.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, again, so did the manager,
It's so
when he
wild.
went out saying, he said, I'm so happy. Was he so happy because he was happy to get out of there?
Right.
Or was he so happy because he had full spiritual life?
Right. Wow.
It's kind of funny they had to say, sorry.
I know, funny, man. You're right.
And again, going back to
That's life, yo.
Vipassana itself is very, very experiential, I would say. Like, I don't want you to learn.
The things we ruin by our own perspectives.
I don't want you to learn from me. It is in layman's terms. I don't want you to learn from me because I'm telling you or because I'm showing you. I want you to learn from me because you directly experience it.
Right.
There's a massive shift there.
Yeah.
And especially when we're talking about non-dual concepts and
Yeah.
liberation, that's a whole nother topic. But that's really the crux of it. Like, you have to experience these things. Going back to why, pain is the teacher. You can't,
Like,
it's like telling somebody, hey, spending an hour explaining how an apple tastes.
Right.
This is how an apple tastes.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and tell you how an apple tastes for an hour.
but you ain't gonna know it unless you
gonna know
taste it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
But that's the same thing. Like with wisdom, there is no wisdom without failure.
Yeah.
The pain is the teacher. The failure is the teacher.
Pain is
Right.
teacher.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
this case, the pain. Yeah.
It's a pain. Yeah.
And for me, the dominant
No pain, no gain.
sensation was, was the pain, and yeah, the itching. Like I hate getting itchy things as much as anybody else. Like you want to, but they tend to fade. They for me were fading.
The itching faded faster than the pain.
Than the pain, because the pain tending to sit there for longer.
Oh yeah,
because of the posture.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. The
and
pain will last.
And it could be other things. So, like I mentioned to you on the last day, like this was my coat because I took it in there because it doubled up as a blanket on my knees when you would get cold. A lot of people have blankets in there. Right. You're not moving, so it can get really cold.
You're not supposed to do that. You should have been all cold and pain.
I could have done as well, but like I had enough problems to deal with.
I had enough pain to deal with. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me suffer slowly.
But on the last day, the heater kicked on.
Right.
And
you think they did that purposely?
No, I think it was going on and off based on the automatic thermostat. But I was I probably should have had off. It was a little bit later in the day, so it was a little warmer, and then ended up just like powering through this 30 minutes. And instead of dealing with the itches and the muscular things which were predominant for me, now it was like, I'm dealing with heat all over my body.
Yeah.
And how do I maintain that and perceive that and keep equanimous with now this massive heat and dripping?
Yeah.
So now some of the sensations were not just the heat; it was the perspiration and all kind of other things going on. Yeah. So again, every sitting is like a different adventure.
Different adventure. Yeah. Dude, we can talk about this. I can. We have a lot to talk about with it. I think you could keep going.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think we're talking about, at least today, like my experiences and some other people's experiences with the technique.
Yeah.
And not like how to do the technique, but like the effects and impacts of the technique. But it doesn't go that level deeper into what the ultimate teachings are pushing you towards.
And what's that?
That's for the next episode.
That's for cliffhanger. All right. Well, shoot. Let's talk to Noah for just a few minutes. You haven't spoken to her in a while, have you?
No, she never calls me.
She never. Well, yeah. That's a good girlfriend.
I like that name though.
Nova.
Yeah.
Did I tell you how I got it?
And you're a stripper with a name now.
That's true. I actually can't say on air how I got it. That I get a lot of like, I'd be like, "Oh, that fucked up," like, but anyway, let's see. Actually, some people would love how I got it. Other people, how sensitive the world is. Anyway,
like here's the thing. Like, are we talking to Noah about this topic?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm just gonna say, like, again, just to like reiterate, like the phrase that we just talked about, like, it hit home so hard with me that I've done years and years of like non-dual reading and Zen Buddhism type practices, but at the end of the day, it's all experiential.
Everything is, yeah. I knew you was gonna roll your eyes. You were
blinked. It's like, wow.
You didn't just blink. You rolled your eyes.
Like
no. We're gonna re-roll this on the camera. I'm gonna make sure I show that.
It is experiential.
Everything is experiential. Ooh, you worked hard on that one. I know. I love you so much. For real.
But again, I think that's part of this. Like, the craving and aversion is a big part of it. Like, it's a big topic that you want to like explore into. It's not just it's craving, aversion, blah, blah, blah. It's like with the craving and aversion, like the technique is trying to teach you that things that you want. Like, I want to be free from pain. I desire to be free from pain. You're trying to break that habit pattern.
Right.
Through the technique.
Right.
And eventually you're not going to crave to be free from pain all the time. You're going to change your your way of dealing with it.
Right.
And likewise with aversion, right?
Right.
Or same, I guess it's the same thing. You can
Right.
look at, and then that eventually should translate into your real life, right? So like maybe example, like somebody comes up to me or gets in my face and pushes me and calls me, like verbally abuses me like a bad name.
Right.
How do I react to that? Well, maybe, you know,
or someone wears a piece of clothing around you that you don't like
prior to Vipassana,
how do you like deal with that? Like dealing with Vipassana, you know? No, I'm serious. Go teach.
prior to Vipassana, like how would I react to that specific situation?
Right.
Well, maybe I would want to react back. I want to physically hit him or punch him or say something back.
But afterwards,
You know, but in theory, once I've retrained my brain on how to react or respond, you know, at a deep level to that action with no action,
right.
and allow me to step back and assess the situation in a more rational way. Like that's part of the craving and aversion
Right.
work.
Well, to almost Father, forgive them for what they know not they do.
Yeah, I mean, they
That's what, you have compassion for people who know less than you. And we was talking on the patio, earlier, people truly get the message of what they get. They wouldn't react to certain things that, I guess, bother them, because the thing is to accept what people don't know, and just it is what it is. And it's an interpretation of, any interpretation isn't even real. My interpretation of my thoughts about something isn't even correct.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's kind of what knowing for the other people, for them to recognize the same thing in themselves.
the only ultimate truth is
There is no truth.
just reality, what's going on. But as soon as I open my mouth and I start to say that curtain is white, who said it's white? What is white?
Right. What is what?
That's just-
Exactly.
It's just a label.
What is what?
Yes, it's just
Yeah.
words are,
Where is it?
and unfortunately words,
Exactly.
language.
What is a cafe? So go ahead. But
So words, language is essentially dualistic in nature, because everything in language is either I just decided that's called white.
right.
But who decided that?
Who decided? Yeah.
And then you get down to like the concept of I. Well, what is I?
Right.
It's just something I made up.
Something I made up. Yeah. Everything is something people made up.
And then what is I?
Right.
So the dualistic nature of language causes problems when you start to talk about these topics at a deeper, like non-dual type level,
Right.
because language is essentially dualistic.
Well, white shaman, tiger, lion, rabbit. Namaste, motherfucker. Had to get my full zen out. I'll make sure it was aligned and flowing,
Perceived.
so we can flow.
Good luck with the Grammys.
Yo, are you ready to hang?
I heard you got nominated for something.
Yeah, I got nominated for something.
Somebody told me.
Someone told you? Someone told you? You heard them laughing in the morning, waking you up? Yeah. Yeah, I am, man. We're going to have an interesting week this week, man. I am nominated for Best Spoken Word Poetry Album. And, it is, I'm actually trying to treat it like Vipassana. I notice it. I see it's there. I try not to think too far ahead or behind.
I mean, essentially, at a meta level, there is no you and there is no I. Therefore, I mean,
Therefore, you're
I'm also
nominated.
You're nominated. So it's kind of like,
Dude.
good luck to both of us. Right?
You know what? I mean, people were actually doing that. They didn't do a lot on the project, and now they just stand there and Grammy nominated. or however it can help them out. Even though there's things about me that bother them, but understand. I know. So yeah, man, dude. I can tell you, congratulations on your nomination. There, you are the friend. You are a Grammy nominated friend. Yeah, we could get
Haven't got any free lunches yet.
Hey, we were gonna work on that this week, for real, because we got a lot to.
I'm driving.
You are driving, man. You think I'm driving, but no. You got the new car. You're driving.
I'm driving. You hook up the deal.
Yeah, we good. Yes.
I got a list of places I want to go.
Okay. Oh,
They ain't taco trucks.
Okay. Well, about that whole Nobu thing, that was another PR. I got a new PR. So, but yeah, but anyway, but yeah, but I had another PR who's like,
I still got a list. So.
No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a bunch of shit, dude. You're gonna have some Getty images this week. Are you ready for some Getty images this week?
I always look good.
I realize. Okay, I mean, you look good for the most part. Always is a stretch, but you know what I came while we were talking about before, like, it's funny to me, when I first started this journey, I was so desperate for the answers of whatever I think this shit is. What's going on here? Why are we here? Then you get you get something that you call answers. I got the answers. You go through some, whether it's meditation, out of body experience, psychedelics, or whatever. You go through some, or even reading or whatever, or even experiencing, because your own experiences, you don't have to be on any of this stuff, can help you process stuff. Then I was like, yo, I got the answers. I know what's going on. And then you get to another step when you realize, oh, I got more answers than these people. Then you get to another step, like, I know, I got the answers. I pretty much know it. Then you start getting into another step, and you're like, well, are these really the answers?
Yeah. And
then you start getting, circling around. Then you start like, maybe these aren't the answers. Maybe I could be completely delusional. And then you get back to the bottom, like, yo, I don't know jack shit. I'm back to where I was before. The only difference is that I accept it. And it's like, I'm not in this dire need of, I want to know the answers. I don't know shit. I know what isn't. Like, I know religion and all that. Like, I know more what it's not than what it is, But I say that to say, this Grammy thing is really, I'm just having fun with it, man. Because it's like, it's so, people who see me, they know now I'm a psychonaut. Matter of fact, one of the Rodrika, Rakira, damn, I'm saying her name wrong. I shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, she was nominated in the New Age field last year. And we had never met each other, but we had networked. And when I walked up to a Grammy event, she was looking at me. She was like, Marcel? I was like, yeah, Rodrika. I said, hey. She was like, hey, wow. She's like, oh, wow. She's like, truth teller. I don't think the Academy is ready for that. Right. And I was like, hey, yeah. 2 months later, 2.5 months later, I'm nominated. It's like, wow. Like, I say, like, I am a truth teller. My poetry ain't cookie cutter. My poetry can get underneath your skin. It's challenging. I'm a psychonaut. So to be in the Grammys is like one of the furthest things that you would think. You know what I'm saying? It's commercial. I do a lot of things against the grid, But in saying that and coming full circle, trying to get the answers, you think you're supposed to dress in. Well, I never was like that. One of the biggest compliments I ever had was, dude, I love your swag. You're cosmic as fuck, but you're a straight homeboy. You're not someone who achieved enlightenment and came back dressing in a daishiki like Ram Dass. You're someone that I know that I can relate to. So all through this, I didn't like start dressing in daishikis and namaste and all this. I am a homeboy, you know, but I am against the grid and I'm a psychonaut. So you would think like just coming this and seeing the illusion, see what isn't real, all this and what people can get fixated on. Getting to the Grammys wouldn't be whatever, but I'm enjoying it. And I've come full circle to appreciate other shit that other people would be like, oh, look at that. What is he doing? Because I know it's all a game. So I'm like, so what? Every genre, every demographic or group have their hierarchy, have their bourgeois to it, have their, I don't care if it's the New Age movement. I don't care if it's religion. I don't care if it's anything, post office. You have your higher ups and your people that act all in however they doing stuff, you know. I'm just going to enjoy this for what it is and enjoy I'm just going to observe.
Oh, that'll be tricky.
That'll be tricky, yeah. Oh, yeah, because... oh, yeah, that'll be really tricky. I'm going to observe it, and just try to keep my head down and just
maybe
and just have fun, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all fun, you know. But I'm glad you're going to be experiencing it with me. You know, it's funny. I told someone last year when I had entered, if I would have made it, I would have the wrong people going with me. I really would have. I would have had about like two of the wrong people going with me, I would have said. And the people going with me this year, like, I'm glad I didn't make that mistake. Like, I know the people going with me, the people that they're my friends. They love me. They don't judge me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really happy for me. You know, like, I'm so glad to have that camaraderie and to know that I'm sharing that moment with people who are happy to see a successful moment that, I've quote unquote achieved. And like, your genuine happiness for me, man. Dude, like, I appreciate that, man. I rock with that, man.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen how hard you worked. Like, it's a grind.
Yeah.
To get recognition, especially like you said, like being in theory a more like progressive, controversial topics, psychedelics. You know, all these types of things. Like it's not. These are not nothing topics, and they're serious topics that are not mainstream in any way.
Right.
So,
and here it is in a mainstream.
We now are at a point where it's like, you know, edging into the mainstream in some capacity,
right?
In certain categories or whatever it is in life, and people are starting to understand that, break the, you know, structures and the illusions that we've all lived by for so long, and especially with the state of the, you know, condition of the world right now, and the conflicts and the, you know, how expensive everything is. People are starting to think a little bit more, and you know, potentially maybe open to different ways of thinking about things that and structures that have left us where we're at today.
Right. Yeah. Well, dude, like I said, I'm glad you're gonna be sharing this moment. Are you ready to have fun?
Of course, good luck,
dude. Well, thank you, man.
If you don't bring home the Grammy, our friendship's over.
No doubt. Well, we are gonna unplug from the system, no doubt.
Cosmidelic download.